Okay, so here's the free response to this question that you guys did very poorly on. But a lot of it was because you were trying to do this the most difficult way. Part of it was because 2 of the questions were difficult, but 2 of the questions you could have gotten 5 points easily on this. The very first question, they want you to write the first 4 non-zero terms. Now, if you watch the multiple choice, you've already seen that this is basically just building on the series 1 over 1 minus x. So 1 over 1 minus x is 1 plus x squared plus x cubed. And they want you to do the first 4 non-zero terms. So I'm going to do the first 4 terms. So the next thing I do is 1 minus negative x, which causes the series to alternate. Okay? It should be plus. Then the next thing is to do the x squared. So now we have 1 minus negative x squared, and that is just squaring each term. I'm having trouble with alternating today. So it's 1 plus minus here. Okay, so it's going to be 1 minus x squared minus plus x to the 4th. I don't know what's wrong with my pluses and minus today. Minus x to the 6th. And then the final thing is to multiply everything by 2x. So when I multiply by 2x, my final answer is going to be 2x minus 2x cubed plus 2x to the 5th minus 2x to the 7th. Okay? And that was worth, the first 2 terms were worth 1 point. The last 2 terms were worth 2 points. So altogether, that was worth 2 points. It was pretty much all or nothing. You either knew it or you didn't. And then to write the nth term, so we have to remember the nth term for 1 over 1 minus x. The nth term for that is just simply x to the n. So I can build upon this the same way I did before to get the nth term. So we see that we're multiplying each time by 2x. And then I am squaring x to the n. So that would be x to the 2n. And then it's alternating, so I'm multiplying by negative 1 to the nth. So that is the nth term. Now, there are a couple of different ways you can write that. You can clean that up a little bit. You can write it as negative 1 to the nth to x to the 2n plus 1. But if you did this, you got full credit, and that was worth 1 point. So this entire thing was worth 3 points. I think those first 3 points were very doable. Now, the second one, some of you got this. When we look at the nth term, and we're trying to see if it converges when x equals to 1, when we look at the nth term, we get negative 1, that should be to the n. I don't know why I wrote it. Negative 1 to the nth power, then 2 times 1 raised to the 2n plus 1. And we can see from there that this diverges. If we take the limit as n approaches infinity, that's going to diverge because we get 2, or it alternates between negative 2 and 2. So since this diverges, it cannot converge to 1. So we just say that this diverges. Therefore, it does not converge to 1. All right, C. Again, once we had this, C became easy because it tells us that the derivative of natural log of 1 plus x squared is this, which is this. So therefore, the natural log of 1 plus x squared is going to equal to the integral of 2x minus 2x cubed plus 2x to the 5th minus 2x to the 7th, which then becomes x squared minus x to the 4th over 2. If you like that better, we can say 2 over 4, because we can clean it up later, plus x to the 6th over 2 times 2 over 6 minus x to the 8th over 2 over 8, which of course we can simplify all of that, but you got this was worth 2 points, so 2 out of 2. This was worth 1 point. So I think when I say you could have gotten 5 points, I think it was very doable to get 5 points there, because I think this was easy and that was easy. Now, this series question did take a little bit of thought. Okay, so the first thing we had to recognize that the natural log of 5/4, if that is my original function, then that's the natural log of 1 plus 1/2 squared. Okay? Because 1/2 squared is 1/4, and 1 plus 1/4 is 5/4. So we had to recognize that x was equal to 1/2. Okay, once we had that x was equal to 1/2, since we only want our error to be less than 1/100, which is it's pretty large error, meaning, and we can kind of guess and check or assume that we only needed 2 terms to do that. Okay, so the 2 terms, the first 2 terms of this series then is x squared minus 1/2 x to the 4th. So when I evaluate that at 1/2, I get 1/2 squared minus 1/2 times 1/2 to the 4th power. And that is what a is equal to. So you got 1 point for finding x is 1/2, and a few people got that. I don't think anyone got that a was 1/2 squared minus this thing, which I think ends up being 7/32, if memory serves correctly. Okay, so that was a. And our justification would be that that meant that we used 2 terms, so then the third term would be the amount of error. So the third term, 2x to the 5th, 2x to the 6th, or x to the 6th over 1/3, would be what we would use to find the amount of error. So then we would say that 1/3, 1/2 to the 6th is less than 1/100, and that's how we would justify it. And that was worth a point. So that was a little bit more difficult. It's a little bit more difficult than the way we see it, but I definitely think that these 5 points, at this point in your math career, you should have gotten at least 5 points on this. Okay? So we're going to practice this more. So I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.